Good evening. Welcome to the Village Network. I'm LaShawn Davis, and my co-host Warren Davis is here, and we're going to talk today about home renovation and how to build community revitalization through home renovation. Just a little bit of a recap. We just hosted the Chicago Housing Expo on April 22nd, and we've been getting a lot of responses from people who wish for us to continue doing more educational series. We had 14 classes at the Chicago Housing Expo, and they were pretty full, and we received quite a few calls. So just so you know, next week we're going to have some dates for our upcoming workshops as it relates to consumer renovation and neighborhood revitalization. But what we're going to talk about today is one of those things that it's very interesting. Reports and research has been telling us, and I've just read a recent Zillow report about some of the challenges that people are facing with regards to their property value, whether you're an existing homeowner or whether you want to buy a home and you're having trouble with the numbers. How do I get my home fixed up? You don't know this information. You should not have to be a general contractor to be able to put together these numbers. So what we're going to do is just give you a little bit of information on how these programs work and how they can help you improve your property value as well as to live better at home.
So the consumer renovation programs, we call them CRPs for short. Consumer renovation program, and all three words mean something. First of all, it's for consumers, so just the average guy, I would say. For it's renovation, so it actually covers renovation, and it's a program that's been out there for decades. Many people have heard of FHA. What they didn't know is that FHA has the FHA you've heard of is the 203B. The FHA 203K is the same exact FHA mortgage, except all or part of the money can be used for renovation, which is pretty good considering the fact that FHA is one of the easiest mortgages to qualify for.
And we use that term a lot, FHA, meaning the Federal Housing Administration, which actually is the backer or the backbone of mortgages that we have just a few agencies as FHA, Federal Housing Administration, as well as Fannie Mae. And Freddie Mac.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. So those are the ones that actually insure the loans. They're the buyers, but that's getting into too much detail. So basically, the key behind the consumer renovation programs that really makes it stand apart from any other mortgage in existence is that it doesn't look at what the property is worth. As you probably know, when you get a mortgage, you have to get it appraised. And when the appraiser comes in to appraise a property, he's looking at what the property is currently worth now based on what other properties similar to it sold for over the past 6 to 12 months within a half a mile to a mile of the property that's being appraised. Well, with the CRPs, again, consumer renovation programs, they don't do that. They don't look at what the property is currently worth at all. They only look at what it's going to be worth, which is very important because a lot of people are in homes that have no equity, which is the difference between what you owe and what the property is worth. And they basically sit on properties that are what we call underwater or have no equity or have no cushion whatsoever. So basically, if an appraiser were to look at that particular property, they'd be like, well, it's not worth anything. You can't tap into any value. But we all have heard or see or are aware of that these properties are being flipped for top dollar. In other words, they're being bought and sold for top dollar. They buy them cheap, fix them up, and sell them. And when they sell them, that creates value in the area. And that value is very important because that is what we aspire to tap into, so to speak, to be able to get that kind of value and leverage it to have enough cushion or money to renovate our properties. So the consumer renovation programs are very unique. They've been around for a very long time, but they allow you to tap into your future equity, your future value of your home, and you get the money today. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's under these programs and what makes them work. And so you can, if you ever decide to want to take advantage of and use them, then you'll have a little better understanding as to how they work. So, LaShawn, I think one of the first things we want to highlight is, what does it take to qualify for a simple loan like this? Basically, you just think of it as any other loan. You need a basic credit score. I've heard, I know mortgage companies are out there doing them as low as 580, but 640 is kind of that average score that you need in order to qualify for one of these. The next thing you need is, of course, you need income, because you want to show that you can afford it. And if you're, in this case, if you own a home, you're going to refinance into this mortgage. So it's not really that complicated to qualify for. Where the key comes into is what value can you aspire to? And that is the flipped homes in your area, and realtors such as ourselves can look that up for you. So if you ever want to find out what the future value of your home is, you can call your local realtor or you can call us. And to do that, you just call us at 773-717?
Yes, 2535.
2535. So basically, under the program is some key factors. One is that most people think if I'm going to do renovation, I need to understand construction. I need to have an idea as to how all that works. Well, you don't, because the bank provides you, that's going to give you the loan, provides you with a contractor that is going to basically look out for you. They're going to help you understand all the work that's going to be required to address any potential health and safety issues that might be in the property. And then they're going to have you pull in your wish list. Maybe you want a stainless steel appliances and granite countertops. So they're going to put all that together within your budget. That budget is coming from the difference between what you owe and what your property could be worth that you can afford.
Right.
So say, for example, you owe $120,000 on your home, on your current mortgage. But it's worth, say, only $80,000. So it's underwater. You owe $120,000 and it's worth $80,000.
So basically, if you're thinking about selling your home, and if it's only worth $80,000, that would mean that, what are you supposed to do, bring a check for $40,000 to the closing table so that you can sell your home?
You'd be surprised.
That's not realistic.
A lot of people are doing that. Not maybe that much money, but they're finding themselves bringing money to the table, and more in some cases.
Or just breaking even on something they've owned
yeah.
for a long time when they should have equity.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they want to sell these homes because they are in disrepair. Not because they want to move per se, but they're tired of the old home with the windows, leaky windows, not efficient.
They bought it 20 years ago, and it looks like they've been living in it for 20 years. It has that same old look to it. You watch HGTV, you're like, man, I wish I could do what they see there. So again, these programs don't look at what your property is currently worth. So in this case, say you owe $120,000, you're worth $80,000, but they're flipping homes around you for, say, $250,000. Well, if you break out a calculator and you take $250,000 minus $120,000, that's $130,000. The question is, could you afford $250,000 at today's low rates? Well, for many people, you'd be surprised. They can. So if you can afford $250,000, that would qualify you for $130,000 to renovate your home.
But you don't have to use all of that money. It depends on the condition of your home. You could end up in an equity position, meaning that if you decided to sell your home a few months later after the renovation is done even, you might actually be able to put some cash in your pocket. But you may decide that you want to stay because now you love your home. It's more comfortable, it's lifestyle, that's a lot more convenient for you. You don't have to worry about the high gas bills and things like that oftentimes come with a home that's in disrepair.
Yeah. And, a lot of people got to think, well, wait a minute, that just sounds like a lot of stuff. Well, you can always stay in the home that you have. You don't have to renovate it. You can just you're comfortable, just stay there and keep paying those high utility bills. You don't have to do this. But if you decided you wanted to do it, you have the opportunity to transform the way you live at home, basically live better at home and live in a more efficient, safer home. So at the end of the day, now you have this $130,000. Well, first thing is, understand this, the bank is not going to give you $130,000 cash. They're going to hold on to the money and make sure that as the work is being done, it's being done right. And who's going to check that? The bank's contractor. We call them a renovation consultant. But they're going to make sure that the work is being done right. Otherwise, the contractor doing the work is not going to get paid a dime. As a matter of fact, in the larger ones, they don't get any money to start the project. They have to start it on their own nickel. buy material, get everything going, get it to a point where things are, partially completed, and then you bring in the bank's consultant. He says, you know what, that's done right, that's done right. Oh, sorry, that's not done right.
That's a really good point that you make, because I think one of the things before the market crash, it was a lot easier to get income, to get money off of your home to do home renovations. And in the industry, I saw a lot of cases where there were contractors who convinced a homeowner to take equity out of their home in a HELOC, which is a home equity loan. They give you a credit card, low interest, it's a great product, and you pay it back over time. But you can take that money and not have any protective measures. You get the lowest contractor bid, and that lowest contractor bid is not always the best bid. Oftentimes, if it's too low, well, I'm going to tell you, if it's too low, if it's too good to be true, it certainly is too good to be true. That means there are a lot of things that are being cut back in form of insulation, quality of work, other materials that are really key and pertinent to keeping your home protected, preventing leaks and things like that. And I've seen I can't even tell you how many situations where it was just really poorly done. So the difference when you're looking at a consumer renovation mortgage or program, it comes with all of these protective measures so that you are, so that the process is managed to protect you, the consumer, versus if you were in a situation where you just had equity, you owe nothing on your home, and you just want to put in a new kitchen and a master bath, and you decide you're going to take out, $50,000-$60,000, or someone tells you they can do it for 15. Beware.
Well, first of all, you can't beat a consumer renovation program because you're insured, basically the work is going to be done right. The bank is not going to give you all that money based on what's going to be done just for it to watch it not happen. It's basically insured that it's going to happen. You're assured that the work is going to be done right.
They're not going to give you that money at all, are they?
Well,
They're just going to reimburse
literally,
the contractor
right.
for the work that they did.
It's the safest way to renovate your home. There's no question about it. And again, it's been around for decades. It's just that most people have never heard of it, which is why we're here advocating to make as many people know that they can revitalize their homesteads, which is very key. I mean, we've gone to many aldermen and we've asked them, what's their strategy to revitalize the homes in their community, the homesteads? And they don't have one. So they find this interesting that they can take advantage of these very seasoned programs to show folks how they can get the best of both worlds, revitalize their home. And it's very important to understand, because this is a mortgage today, you can't get any more than you can afford. So there's no concern about you going over your head or getting into too much debt. That's always a concern. You cannot get any more than you can afford, which is very important.
As a matter of fact, comparatively speaking, the same house that I could rent out for $1,800 a month, someone could buy that house and renovate it and have a mortgage for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home with a master suite, granite countertops, a deck, new garage, etc. And that home that typically on the south side, let's say in South Shore, for example, it's rentable at $1,800. A mortgage on a home like that with down payment assistance is more like $1,250 or $1,300. So why not be the homeowner? As a matter of fact, what about your down payment? Can you use down payment assistance with any consumer renovation programs?
No. But again, most of the people that's going to take advantage of those are folks that already have a home, and they're going to be refinanced. And when you refinance, there's nothing coming out of pocket, literally, not a dime. It's all covered within your future equity. So your future value of your home is paying for everything that you're going to do today. That's incredible, isn't it? So, again, the consumer renovation programs are very key, because when you use it, you significantly raise your property value. And with what comes with that, all the benefits. You're in a position, if you wanted to sell it, you could compete because your property looks just as good, or if not better, than those flipped homes. You could stay there and enjoy the comfort of a much more luxurious, revitalized home. It's important to note that many of the homes in Chicago were built over 100 years ago. So they're in there with old cloth wiring and old pipes rusting out and all kinds of just traps waiting to happen to take you out. And if you don't have the money to address these, you could be in a very bad situation. which is why we see renovating homes, existing homesteads, as a part of an infrastructure challenge that needs to be addressed. So that's why the Village Network is out here talking about this particular program, because of the benefits of what it does to revitalize homesteads in our community, which we see as the core of neighborhood revitalization. Yeah, I mean, you can use government dollars to revitalize and get parks and schools and new roads, but if the houses are falling apart around that area, what kind of revitalization is it? So this is the missing link. And we're going to continue to advocate to educate people on the benefits of what the renovation programs are and how they work. I think it's still important to understand, if you're still having questions as to, or having trouble believing, I think if you to go out to, first of all, go out to our website here. There we go. And you to click on, say, Renovate a Home, which is from our Chicago Housing Expo website. You click on Renovate a Home here, you'll get a page that basically highlights these programs. And we say, you know, renovate a home you own or want to buy, and consumer renovation loans a key to neighborhood revitalization, and your money to a fixer-upper, Property Brothers, or Love It or List It. We compare it to HGTV because that's what a lot of people watching are familiar. But if you come down here, this is the solution is either FHA 203K or Fannie Mae Homestyle. Now, if you click on FHA 203K, you're going to be directed to where? HUD.gov. This is the 203K Rehabilitation Program. And I'm going to read this paragraph because I think it's very, very significant. This one here. It says the Section 203K program is FHA's primary program for the rehabilitation and repair of single-family properties. As such, it is an important tool for community and neighborhood revitalization, as well as to expand homeownership opportunities. So I think, you know, that says it all. I mean, again, that's HUD's website, and it's talking about their version, the FHA 203K. That is one of the consumer renovation programs. But, you know, it is not the only one out there. If you go back to our website again and click on Fannie Mae's Homestyle, you're going to pull up Fannie Mae's website and talk about their Homestyle Renovation Mortgage. Now, it's very interesting because both Fannie Mae and HUD are both government. So yes, we're actually talking about a government solution here, which is important to think about, because why haven't we heard about these government programs, these mortgages that allow us to be able to get money to revitalize our homesteads? Is it a secret? Why is it we don't know about it?
I don't think it's a secret, but I think the lack of information is the lack of power to get things done, and that's our mission, is to inform you and to empower you with information and knowledge. And these are two programs that have been around for a very long time, and a lot of people don't know about it. They're not advertised by banks. Essentially, they take banks a little bit longer to do. It's a little bit more work. However, it's a huge and tremendous benefit to consumers. So we do what we can to get the word out there and to inform people and try to address the fear factor of the unknown. But the real unknown is when you have cash in hand and you're going to hand that to a contractor and you just pray that they're going to do what they're supposed to do. And you come home and you've run out of money and you have no roof. Right. And you've got a tarp over your house. Right. That is where it gets scary. So these renovation programs, like Warren said, come with professionals to guide you through the entire process, and nobody gets paid until the work is done.
Done right.
And done right. It's inspected by an inspector. Any permits that have to go along with this type of renovation have to be pulled. And so then the city is involved. Whatever township that you're in, the city's going to be coming out to do periodic inspections and make sure that the work is being planned properly and that the work is being done properly. The planning part is getting the permit and then getting it done and then having it inspected afterwards. So you don't have to worry about the horrifying nightmares that we've heard about. Typically, like I said before the crash, when so many people were just able to take cash out. And I can tell you another thing that people have done in the past is they've taken cash out and they had $60,000 and someone told them, oh, well, I could do this work for $15,000 and then you'll have 35 left, 45 left to do with as you may. Danger, danger, flash. That is not the way to go. You have to be careful with your money. If it's equity in your home, it should really be used to put back into your home unless it's for something like education or things like that. You should talk to your financial advisor. But be very careful about these types of things, and that's why we're here to share that with you.
Now, I'm sure there's some folks out there saying, well, I'm still not sure about this. I mean, for example, everybody knows that when you work in a house, it can get very dusty and dirty, and, where am I supposed to stay while the work is going to be done? I don't have any place I can go to. Well, there's a lot of folks that have heard of Airbnb. Air, Bed, and Breakfast, I think is what it stands for.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, as one of the features of this mortgage, you can actually put 6 months mortgage payments back into your loan, so that you don't have to worry about where you're going to stay while the work is being done. And, you can stay at a nice, comfortable Airbnb.
Or you can do a short-term lease, a sublet or something, take a small apartment, but you're not paying for this apartment and your mortgage at the same time. This actually is structured so that you can smoothly exit your home so the work can be done, live comfortably, and not be burdened by two places to pay for at the same time.
Yeah, that would be a real hassle. For most people, that would be, well, can't do it. So there are really very few reasons why you would not do this, why you would not at least try to do this. And I can only encourage you to visit us at our website, and we'll do our best to educate you and help you understand the benefits and how this can work, and connect you to all the people that's going to make this work for you, from some of the lenders that attended our expo, to the designers that were there, to show you how they can beautify your home. We have all those resources available to you, and for free. Everything we do is at no cost, from the time you meet us till, who knows, maybe we'll show up at your new housewarming for the home that you're in now. Totally beautified and restored and revitalized, and worth a lot more now, with a better mortgage that's attached to it, that's not underwater. I have a lot of people that would say too, why would I want to go back into debt? Well, there aren't too many things we can do to make a difference that doesn't cost money. So, you got to invest. And if you're going to invest in something, don't go buy a car and drive it off the lot and want you to lose half its value. Put it into your home where it's going to be appreciated. And property values are going up pretty aggressively right now. And, revitalize. And for those of you that have homes, that you've bought a flipped home, invite your neighbors in. Let them see how they could live, and let them know about this consumer renovation program so that they can take advantage of themselves. Do your part to help revitalize your community. I think that's very important, because sometimes we get complacent. We get a home, we figure, okay, this is good now. But think about it. You may have bought the most expensive property in the area, and if you do nothing, you're going to catch down to the other properties, and then you're going to lose value. So,
yes, help raise the property value in your community by encouraging others to raise their property value, and help them and show them what their property value could look like. It's all about being a neighbor.
Yes, it is. So, again, consumer renovation programs are government not government insured. The majority of them are either Fannie Mae or FHA HUD, but there are others out there. You can go to your local bank. They may have a renovation program that's more specific and more geared towards you, but at least inquire. At the end of the day, we want to see as many people take advantage of this, because it is the key to neighborhood revitalization. There is nothing out there like it, and it is safe. And it is the only opportunity we have that we're aware of that can revitalize communities, not only this beautiful city of ours, but across the country. So we encourage you to go out to ChicagoHousingExpo.com, and if you do that, you will find everything you need to learn about how these renovation programs work and how you can take advantage of them. And while there, please visit the Village Network, which is who we are and what we represent, and it's all about revitalization. Supporting our opportunity to revitalize our communities everywhere. So, LaShawn, guess another session. We look for you next week around the same time, same place. This is Warren Davis with the Village Network.
And I'm LaShawn Davis.
We look forward to seeing you again real soon. And please, ChicagoHousingExpo.com or thevillagenetwork.org. And if you want to reach us by phone, you can call.
You can call us at 773-717-2535, or you can email us at info@villagenetwork.org.
So again, we look forward to the opportunity to answer any questions you guys might have as to how this works. Feel free to give us a call, and we're here to support you for free. I don't care if it's credit issues, I don't care if it's your doubts, if you're fearful, or how you can better spread the word. We're all here to help you in any way that we can. So that's thevillagenetwork.org. And we didn't take any questions today, but that's totally fine. I'm sure we were thorough, right?
Bye for now. Talk to you next week.